What's up guys? Today is the day. So I've got most of the frame strengtheners done on the Comanche. Now it's time to pull the engine on the CJ so that we can start fitting it inside there and make sure everything's gonna fit. Look what I did earlier today. I was welding right here and I accidentally caught my pants on fire and I burned a hole right through my pants, burned a hole through my pocket, and it even melted my key fob. Where is it? Look at that. Still works, thankfully. Anyway, I wish I would have got that on camera because that would have been funny. I was patting myself down trying to put myself out. Anyway, alright, on to the Comanche. CJ, what am I talking about? Anyway, I want to pull the engine on this thing. Once I do that, it won't be going anywhere though, so I gotta make sure I know what I'm doing. Make sure I don't have to get anything past this that's large enough to fit by. So I think I don't need to get this out for any reason. Oh well, let's do it. This is one massive air filter. Oh, it's got a cable connected here. Come on. It's one of them tricky ones. They always gotta be sneaky about these things. Never can make anything simple. Safety first. Oh, there you go. Alright guys, check it out. It's been probably a couple hours and I left a lot of that stuff out because it was pretty tedious but also mostly boring. But let me show you what I did. So to make the swap as quick as possible, what I've been doing is taking each wire that goes from inside the cab to the motor and disconnecting it somewhere and labeling it. So if you look here, let's pick a wire. Right here, this wire ran all the way back to the fuel pump. I disconnected it right here, and then the other side, I haven't pulled it all the way back there yet, but I labeled the other side as well. Come on, you can do it. Fuel pump, so I know where those go. I also labeled pretty much every wire. Well, that one's not labeled. I labeled all the hoses, so that one is to the pressure gauge for the York air compressor. And this will just help me later on when I go to put everything back together. I don't have to try to figure out what goes to what. That's the tach signal. And then there's another one right here that goes to the light. And I disconnected the throttle cable. I disconnected anything that connects the motor to the rest of the vehicle. And on this side, I had to disconnect a bunch of stuff too. I took the brake booster off, and I'm about to take off the steering, but I can't quite get that off, so I'm going to have to take the steering box off to be able to pull that. After that, it should be ready to come out, minus the drive shafts. I'll have to support the transmission and get the engine hoist in place over here. I'm thinking, my plan is, it's really tall. My plan is to maybe take the tires off and the wheels and just set this thing all the way down on the ground on the front side anyway. And that will allow me to hopefully pull it out a lot easier closer to the ground. That's the thought. And I've also ripped my pants pretty much all the way up to the belt loop here, and I keep on putting stuff in my pockets only to completely lose it on the ground. Look at that. I almost forgot the power steering lines here. Better get those. This is crazy. I can't lay under here to take the drive shaft off. I have to sit under here. Help! Help me. Uh-oh. All right. I really thought that was going to lean down to the jack stand. So what is holding the engine up still and the transfer case? I do not know. I see now. It's actually sitting on the O2 bungs. On the bung on that side, but on this side it's actually was sitting on the O2 sensor. I'm glad I didn't crack those off of there. That wouldn't have been cool. Okay, I do not want to be working under there with that only supported by a jack. Some of you may remember what happened last time I tried that. So let's try to fix this. Still not enough. Oh well, I've got the jack stand there just in case. Alright, there's the Atlas shifters, and last but not least, the shifter. As far as I know, this should be the last thing I have to disconnect. Push that down, turn it, pop it up. I think it's ready to come out. There's one vital thing that I missed. If you look closely, the collector has to come off because that's welded in there. The engine mount is welded in there, and it would catch as I was trying to pull that forward if I were to try to take that out right now on the other side too. So I have to take that off, but I'm going to do that in the morning. It's past midnight. I will see you guys in a minute for you. Okay, hello. It's a new day. I'm feeling refreshed. I've got some pants on that don't have holes in them. So we're all good. We're about ready to pull this motor. But check this out. I got to thinking I need to use the engine hoist to get this down. I had some help lifting that up to the ceiling there. Now I need to get it down by myself, and I've also added a couple 100 pounds in frame stiffeners. So I'm going to use that first to pull that down, and then I'll be able to use the engine hoist over here. Otherwise it'll be tied up. Let's do it! Aha! That worked like a charm. I wanted to get it down lower so it'd be easier to get out, but I needed to do it with two people because I needed to let down the transmission at the same time as I lowered the front, because it's the jack is supporting the transmission. So by doing that, I was able to let it down slowly while I came over here and dropped the transmission as it went down. I got some leakage going on. Got some leakage. There we go. All right, I've got it ready to come out. Got it all chained up. I removed some stuff to try not to break anything there. I think I will have to cut out the motor mounts. I'm pretty sure that whenever he put this in, he probably put the motor in and then welded the motor mounts in there, so I'm not sure I could even get it out without doing that. But also, I can't seem to get the O2 sensors unbolted off of there and pull that bottom piece. So I think it's just going to be easier and less frustrating if I just go ahead and cut those motor mounts and pull it all out at the same time. And hopefully that'll do the trick. There's one little bolt right here hanging on the York air compressor. When I lift up, that's the only thing I can see that could be catching. Let's give it a shot now. As I'm lifting up, it's shortening here and it's wanting to pull it forward. I think the springs are also lifting up, so the whole body's lifting up because the weight's coming off of it. And it's wedging right here because it's trying to pull the lift forward. Whoa! That did it. Those O2 sensors are right in the way. Those O2 sensors are in the way for everything. If you look right there, I can't pull it straight out unless I were to lift it up about another 1.5 feet over these hoops. But I've disconnected that, so hopefully it'll separate right here off the headers. I think when I've ordered some bungs, and I think when I put it in the Comanche, I'll probably put them sticking out this way so that they're not in the way like that. Plus it's going to be too wide, I think, for the frame rails on the Comanche over there. If you'll notice, I've got some pipe sticking out the bottom there just in case, so it doesn't flip over. Jeremy told me to do that if I did this by myself, otherwise I'd need him as a counterweight back here. So hopefully when this comes off the edge of the bumper, it doesn't try to flip the whole thing upside down. Here we go. There she is, folks. There she is. Ain't that a beaut? Now I gotta figure out how to get this into this little tiny space over here. That'll be fun. So that concludes today's presentation. We will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up. Do subscribe. If you enjoy these videos, you might want to think about supporting us over on Patreon at patreon.com/BleepinJeep. There you can have early access to these videos and help support us monthly to keep making them. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.